Second, we are live right now. We're we're live with Scott Kramer.
Yay, Monday morning.
But I know, and it's Monday morning, wicked early where you are.
Just 1 hour less than you. That's all good.
Oh, I thought
I'm
it
in
was much
Dallas.
earlier. Oh, okay. No, I know I have two like conflicting. I didn't know whether you lived in Dallas for sure or California.
Yep. I know I still keep my California number, my LA lifestyle,
You're
but
really
live in Dallas.
your own lifestyle. Yeah, I think we can all agree your life is far more interesting than most of ours. Either that or you're way better at social media making it look like it's far more interesting.
People do that.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's kind of good in a way. I would rather that than see all there's some stuff I don't want to see.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always with my social media, I want to either make you smile, laugh, or document something for me.
Yeah. I know
This
you
is
said that before. I thought that was really interesting when you were giving one of your presentations. You said that they mainly did it so you document your own stuff you want to go look back on your own wall.
yeah, it's your timeline. So it's your diary. That's what this has afforded us. I mean, that's my favorite thing to do every morning. First thing in the morning, I always go back and see what I was doing on this day the past 12 years. I
Oh,
love
that's
doing
kind of
my
neat.
memories. That's why I love taking so many pictures of things. And I'm not so much of a selfie kind of guy, but I love to capture what my eyes see.
Yeah, no, I like that too. I guess because I'm in direct sales and I have like a big team and stuff and customers, they follow along. So I feel like I'm talking to like Facebook is a friend and I'm
Uh-huh.
letting them know what I'm doing. I'm letting my friend know.
Yeah.
That's how it doesn't necessarily feel like a diary to me. It feels more like I'm collectively letting everybody know what I do, I guess.
It
So
works. It works that way too. I mean, that's the beauty of it's an interactive diary. It's a social diary, so you're allowing certain people to be connected to you. But then, I mean, that's the biggest thing we're seeing now. I don't want to dive into social media, but Facebook's doing such an interesting job of separating your personas now, your group, your community, your business, and your page, and then your personal self. I mean, which I've always preached, right, for the past 5 6 years, but they're really separating them out with separate news feeds and all that. So now I go on and go, oh wait, am I my business self or my personal self? Am I posting pictures of the dogs or am I posting a motivational quote? So I kind of have to juggle that.
yeah, and see, I don't know how I'm going to handle that because mine is just me. I'm just
Right.
one big me.
And you're obviously awesome at it.
Oh, so yeah, when I was looking you up, like espionage, I found this wicked cool, interesting thing, the Force of Nature concert in
Ugh.
Malaysia. Oh, you got to talk about that. I
Yeah,
don't think any of the current people that associate with you for the social media know about that, do they?
no, that was another life of mine. That was back in my entertainment days. And probably the and this will I'll tie this into what we do now. But this is that one moment in my life where I took on a project, and it actually taught me how to eliminate fear. And now I think it's helped me in every aspect of my life because I'm just fearless now. And it
Wow.
was I'd been hired on to develop a concept. This is coming out of my entertainment days of being at CAA, Creative Artist Agency, and doing things like American Idol and blah blah blah. And after all of that fun that I got to do setting up those deals, I was starting to work with the Grand Prix all around the world, and they wanted to do this idea of doing a concert after the races. So we called them rock and race to keep the audience, right? To keep the audience,
Oh,
generate
nice.
more revenue, things like that. Well, fast forward, we were developing one to go in Malaysia. And then it was the day after Christmas, the tsunami hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when it was. This was in 2005. And my producing partner, called and said, well, you know, that's screwed. We're not going to be going to Malaysia. Not going to be producing a concert now. And we went, wait a minute. We have to step up here and we have, look at all these people coming together, look at all these countries coming together. It was the most amazing thing. I don't know if you remember it, but where just everybody came from everywhere to help. And he made a quote to me. He said, he goes, God, it's like we as people are a force of nature. And then that's when it just hit us. We ended up meeting the prime minister, or and the family, an amazing family, and we raised $4 million to produce a show that
Wow.
ended up generating over $8 million. So I beat
Whoa.
Bono. I beat Bono. That's my point.
Whoa.
We did a stadium concert in Kuala
Wow.
Lumpur, and I flew 200 celebrities and artists over, which was a feat because a lot of people hadn't even heard of Kuala Lumpur, let alone flying 18 hours to go over there. So we brought over just a whole posse of people. It was headlined by the Black Eyed Peas, Lauryn Hill. We did a little Fugees reunion, Backstreet Boys.
Wow.
So many artists. I can't remember all. That was a lot of the American Idol folks, Clay Aiken, all them came over with me. And we produced I think it was like over 6-hour concert stadium show and raised a ton of money. And I had never done that before. So to do that on the other side of the world, I lived there for 3 months, putting it all together. And it was a huge success. And that made me think, gosh, you really can do anything you want if you just, one, surround yourself with the right people, and two, just, I really felt like it was a moment where there were these stories where we needed a turntile style stage because the artists had to change. There were so many artists, we had to keep moving. And we couldn't get one. Well, we ended up getting a military jet to fly to Amsterdam to grab a stage to come over there. I mean, it was like this, wow, everybody's just being so helpful. It was an amazing experience. It changed my life. And then it obviously raised a lot of money for good people. And I think a lot of it went to, I think they still have the Force of Nature organization. We ended up creating a charity over there that we turned over. And we built a lot of homes in Banda Aceh and Indonesia, and it was a good time in my life.
I can't imagine how you feel, because I can't imagine, because my big moment in life was I drove my truck and did seminars all around the country for like 6 weeks by myself. And when I got done, I wanted to stand on the roof of my house and beat my chest.
Nice, right?
But I mean, what you did is so huge. You must have wanted to stand on top of the world and beat your chest.
It felt good. It felt great, just because it was, again, after that moment, I've never ever felt like, ooh, I can't do that. Can I do that? I'm not sure if I can do that. What if I don't make it? What if I fail? It totally, we've all had the imposter syndrome before. Like, do I deserve all this? And can I really do it? And it just eliminated all that. All that's been gone out of my life.
Oh, that's awesome. That reminds me. So you must have got that done a lot because of your Well, I say your Rolodex, but it would be your connections. I say a lot of people listening don't even know what Rolodex means.
Right?
Yeah, my kid's like, what does that mean?
Right.
But so I think that's a cool thing. I'm in another group. Do you know Bob Berg by chance?
I've heard of it, yeah.
He's got a Go Giver Success Alliance where I'm a member of it, and it's all about your connections, who you know, and helping other people, and that's kind of cool. It reminds me of that, because a lot of people get a lot of things done in there because of the other people. So
yeah, I just heard a quote this weekend. I think it was Grant Cardone. One of his quotes is more contacts lead to more contracts.
Oh,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I don't know. I find myself like, I don't know, when I decided to leave LA and leave entertainment, and leave, at that point was television, mainly television and digital, and focus on what we do at Multibrain now, which is the software. I felt like I had to split off from those connections, believe it or not, because the one thing about entertainment is, once you're in, it's hard to get out. I mean, you're in this bubble called Hollywood, and 90% of the people are trying to get in, and 10% of the people are in. Well, once you're in there, it's hard to get out. You get pulled in because it's always so sexy.
Yeah.
I left out of my last show. I was a creator and executive producer. Was search for search for the next great makeup artist.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
was supposed to be a shoulder programming. It was supposed to go on before Project Runway.
Yep.
And then that was the year where Project Runway left Bravo and went to Lifetime, and there was a lawsuit and blah, blah, blah. So we ended up doing this makeup show, producing it, and it ended up just going in the summer, and it got horrible ratings. And that's when I just kind of decided, well, I think I just created one of the worst reality shows in television history. So I think I'm going to move on now and move on to software. That's literally when I moved, I just kind of dropped those connections, the entertainment stuff, and moved here to Dallas, Texas. And I don't regret any of it at all.
But well, actually, the industry that you've been dealing with, I'm assuming, is the direct sales network marketing industry,
Yeah.
is fascinating. I think fascinating. The people in it, everybody has giant dreams and goals, and it's normally regular, just housewives like me. I don't want. I hate when people call me a housewife. Sorry, I mean, I just did it. But you don't mind.
It was an aha moment, and for me, and it was back in 2011 or 12, and I was speaking at a DSA event, and I didn't even really know what DSA meant. And I'd gone to this event in Palos Verdes, and it was a bunch of CEOs from the direct selling industry, and I had met two very amazing people in the industry, like mentors, and I told him what I noticed from my days at IMG, which is sports and entertainment and all of that, where I just came out of. And I noticed that with this idea of social media, it's basically flipping marketing upside down. Marketing used to be create a message for the masses and create a TV spot or a radio commercial or a print ad, and then get as many people to see it. So it was very top down. And what I noticed with social media is everything would change to be power to the customer, power to the consumer, power to the people, where it was marketing comes now from us. We dictate what brands we like and what we want to promote. We're driving the message. So I kind of thought of that back then as this is kind of like a bottom up revolution where it's going to change the way we build businesses. And then I'm speaking to that, and these CEOs sat around the table with me, and they said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to create social media pros in cities to help all these entrepreneurs that are happening. He goes, one of the guys said, you're building a direct selling company. You want to build, why don't you come help our industry? And that was the moment where I said, okay, I'll build software. I've never built software. I'll hire engineers and create something for this business. And it's been amazing. I mean, we have over 360,000 people on our platform now.
Woo! Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw that you did. I happen to know of you because you work for the company. That's my main gig. But I've seen you do for some other gigs, some other companies, some other big. So that's awesome.
Gigs in 24 countries and 14 languages now.
Whoa! Now wow. That's awesome. Yeah, and this industry is I just unbelievable. I think the power of using online anything has meant that I can compete, because I don't know if you know this part. You probably do. I live in a little teeny town in rural New Hampshire. So, and I'm number 5 in my company because of online. There's no way around it. Yeah. When they first, they weren't doing online appointments. They were you had to see people in person. And I campaigned and fought for the online appointment because I knew it would change my life, and it sure did.
Wow.
So as soon as they opened that, I was building before that, but how can I compete with people that live in Texas or LA or whatever in a little teeny town? And as soon as they opened it up, yeah, it's like, yay.
And what you did, because you were one of the first. You and Molly were the two people I really wanted to meet in the very beginning. I'd heard about you and heard about the teams you built, and what you've done though is you guys have created exactly what everything I trained to. You created. I mean, you guys are a real community.
I hope so.
You are. I mean, I follow you, and just it's amazing how supportive you guys are as a team together. And it's really, it makes doing what I do, trying to empower that so you can build more and build bigger communities. It makes it totally worth it when I see how well you guys do.
You know what's funny, and that's back to Bob Bergen, the Go Giver. I don't know if you know this, but me and Molly and Lisa Scola and Teresa Paul are not in each other's downlines at all. We're not
Totally
related,
separate teams.
totally separate teams. We just happen to be friends. We met on some of the company trips and started going to each other's houses and stuff. But it's to us, it's been a good thing because we're for competitive people. Let's face it. So, like when the company did this big incentive a couple years ago, where you could earn $15,000, we didn't want to. I didn't want to be the one out of the four of us that didn't get it. So we egg each other on and help each other, and it's nice to have someone because good news goes down, bad news goes up. I don't have an upline, so I have these friends that can talk me back in off the ledge.
Amazing. I mean, I got to see you all in person back in what, 2018.
Was that Columbus, I
In
think?
Columbus, yeah, in
Yeah.
Columbus, and get to really spend time with you guys. It is neat to see the bond you guys have created. Now
That was
now I follow Molly and her cooking. Molly and I both want to be Food Network cooking.
no. She did what she did the chocolate chip
Chocolate on chocolate on
cookie.
chocolate with chocolate with chocolate.
Yes, that was nice Saturday. Yeah. Yeah. So every this is a tradition. Every time I watch the video, take screenshots and I send her a card with all the pictures in it. And this is so bad of me, but I always try to get that shot. I like to pick on her husband, right?
Yeah.
Bib. So I try to get that shot where he's opening his mouth to take the bite when she
That is
and then I blow it up in the card. Yeah, I'm a bad person that way.
on Saturday though, Lee, when he went in for the bite, he had his headphones hanging off one ear and this one here. So I bet it was a really great shot you captured.
Well, yeah, he tried to cover it so I couldn't get it because I've been bugging him about it. I got it though. I definitely got it. Hey, talk to me about the dogs. I love now. See, I'm a cat person, but got a dog a year ago, and now I'm like in love with the dog. How
Yeah,
did that
I'm
happen?
a dog guy. Snoop and Coop, they're right over here.
What are their names?
Snoop and Cooper.
Snoop, Snoop and
Yeah,
Cooper.
Snoop Dogg and Cooper.
Oh, and they're both Jack Russell Terriers.
Jack Russells, they're brothers. I got them together.
Oh,
And they are 12 years old right now. So Snoop's turning into kind of like a grumpy dog. Like when we go to the park, we go to the dog park just down the street. He'll want to chase, and the young ones will come up and play with him, and he'll just bark at them like a grumpy old man. And then he'll try to run for a minute, and then he'll be like, never mind. So they're getting up there a little bit, but they're still wonderful to shoot. I take pictures of them all the time, kind of obnoxiously.
Oh no, well, you don't know the half of it. No, I probably got 5,000 pictures of the dog. Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's I didn't think I could I don't like them more than the cats because that would be bad. But the dog's pretty awesome because the dog likes me back.
Right? And
Yeah,
that's
the
who like
cat's
pet
pretty
him
much
and
yeah, the cat's
scratch
prepared.
him.
Bo, we went to the dog park. This is the dog park thing is I didn't even know that existed in the world. And but Bo won my heart the last time we went because this other dog had a ball and wouldn't let Bo play with it. So he peed on the ball.
Awesome.
He's like, I'll show you.
My
Yeah,
my dogs are completely opposite. I kind of think of them as one is the football high school quarterback. Snoop is just the stud quarterback dude man, and then Cooper is the kind of debate club president. The scholastic achiever and smartest one. So they're the complete opposite of each other.
Oh, that's funny.
Cooper always wants to be around you. What's going on? What's going on? What can I do? What can I? And Snoop's more like, yeah, I'm just going to chill over here. Then Cooper will swim. Snoop won't. Snoop will hide under the bushes if we're in the pool.
Oh, that's funny.
Because usually Jack Russells love to swim.
Yeah, I don't, Bo, I haven't had him at the lake or anything. How did you introduce the whole swim concept? But you have a
Um,
pool.
he would start by jumping on all my. I mean, I've always had Jack Russells. I've had this is my let's see, one, two, Oscar Garbo Gracie, Patrick, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is my these are my seventh Jack Russells.
Oh,
Yeah, and they've always
awesome.
swam and they've always swam. So
Oh,
it starts by getting them on a raft, and then you just splash the water and they start jumping for it. They chase water, and
well,
Cooper's
that's pretty neat.
obsessed with swimming.
Yeah, Bo's like, no, 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 thank you. But I don't know what kind of dog he is. We did the DNA thing, but it was like all over the place. He's got 50,
Aw,
right, which is awesome.
it
I
is
just think it's
awesome.
funny in the cat world, people don't ever say to me, what kind of cat is that? And dogs, everyone, so what kind of dog is that? Heinz
That's interesting.
57. Isn't that true though?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never said what kind of cat is that. My brother has cats. He's obsessed with cats, and I never asked him what kind of cats they are.
Yeah, no one ever does. And I have how many does your brother have?
He has two now, two or three. Two of them are
Well,
outdoor cats, and one is an indoor, like his everything cat.
yeah, I got him beat now. I got four.
Okay.
And I'm about to get Grammy, so that's five. My limit was three, so yeah, yeah, right.
We thought
Um,
about getting a few more dogs, actually.
ooh, now my kid wants another one, but that seems like five cats, a dog. I've got a gecko.
You
It
got
just seems like a lot, right? Yeah, and the little Jack Russells are one thing, but Bo's 54 pounds. So if he doesn't want to do something, you just have to convince him. Because I mean, you can't just pick him up and make him get in the car. You have to,
right, 54
as a little
pounds.
dog, right? Can't you just pick the Jack Russell dog up and
Yeah.
yeah,
Usually they'll just jump in anywhere anyway. They're crazy
right.
dogs.
But Bo too, but every once in a while he's like, no, I'm not ready to leave, right?
I'm not doing it.
So, how was your experience when you first went to the dog park? We had to drag Bo in, and then he was all happy. But the first time,
We were nervous. I've got to admit, my dogs aren't that socialized. They're kind of just because they grew up with land. I mean, even in California, they had yards to run around, and so a little nervous. We would go back into the corner, and everyone takes their dogs off the leashes and just lets them go. There's not a ton of dogs there at any time. Cooper's great, and so far Snoop's just cranky old man dog. It barks.
cranky old man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go back to Columbus for a minute. How did that feel? Of course, you've done so many other things. It probably wasn't as cool as it looked, maybe. But being on stage there in front of what was that, 5,000, 6,000?
It was like 8,000.
8,000? That
Yeah,
must be nice.
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Um, yeah, I like being on stage. I like being uh, comfortable with what I do because I feel very comfortable in my skin with what I do for a living. So for me to get up on stage and train and doing that, I feel very comfortable doing it. I'm very passionate about it. I think, as you can see, if I were singing or acting, or you had cameras on me and said, "Okay, ready, go," I'm the worst. The worst. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I learned very early on because I used to sing as a kid, and I sang on a cruise ship even one summer, and
Oh, no.
I was not a in front of the camera kind of guy. But something about training where it's I don't know, it feels very comfortable for me that way. So yeah, I loved it. I loved it. We had that big intro, brought all the brains there. That was a fun moment.
Because everybody was dying to hear every word you said, too. That makes it nice. They're all just sitting there taking down, right?
Yeah, I really this is my favorite. My favorite thing to do is actually do the training and do the lives, and I enjoy it so much. I get so much satisfaction out of it because I get a lot of positive feedback. So that always feels really good, right?
No, I think so too. Yeah. Now, how do you do? This is going to sound bad. How do you deal with let's see, the
Okay.
the people that are um aren't going to get it. There's some people that aren't going to get it, and they're going to ask you the same question 12 million times.
Mhm.
And bless their hearts, they're not going to get it. That must be hard to deal with because I see that you have to deal with that. We all, like, I have a big team. There's some people that just are never going to get it.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I want them to get it, and I love them, but they're just not going to get it. And it's hard. How do you
There's
not
only
look?
been there's only been one time where there's only been one time where I've thought, you know what, just nah, nah. You should just throw that computer away. You just but no, no, no. I mean, it's. I come from a world where it's technology, and technology equals fear because technology moves so fast that it like that. I knew this going into it, which is we've got to find a way. I never wanted to make something. This is from day one of thinking about multi-brand. I never wanted to make something that was like Hootsuite, that was like whiz bang, bing, bing, bing. If if you understand technology, you can do all that. I wanted to make something that I felt was more than half the population that can't keep up with technology, that doesn't care enough to keep up with technology. They do other things well. And so how can they just like push a button and make it all work for me? That was my goal that I set out to do. So I set out for honestly perfectly for this industry because you got to know your skincare, you got to know your products, you got to know your team building, you got to know so many things. The last thing on your list is keeping up with Facebook's changes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we'll take that role for you. We'll do that.
Oh, so that's awesome. So it's
So I mean,
probably
I teach it as go at your own pace. You don't have to have it all at once. It doesn't happen overnight. The most common one I get, Lisa, I mean, every day it's I've been posting for 2 weeks straight and I haven't gotten one sale.
yeah.
What? You're kidding me. What have you been posting? How many conversations have you had? None. Nobody's commenting like, what are you posting? Links to the product on my site. Well,
And
I mean,
they have
if it were
three
that
friends,
easy, wouldn't we all do it?
and they have like three friends. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so it. I love. I feel sometimes I feel guilty because you do have to reinforce and reinforce and reinforce. I mean, come on. There's some common ones that everybody knows. I say the 80-20 rule. Those, all of those types of things.
Mhm.
But you got to keep kind of drilling it in until you kind of get that. Till you kind of get that. You're not really selling.
Right. It's more like building. People are going to buy from you because they know, like, and trust you, not
Yeah.
because you're selling whatever it is so fabulous. The
And you
stuff.
put a link and you put a link and posted a picture with a link.
Right. I have, matter of fact, yeah, I had one on my team that called me, messaged me, and that was her problem. She wasn't making any sales, and she wasn't even putting her own picture in the profile. It was a picture of a product. And I'm like, well, why would they buy from you? You're not giving them any reason. you
Right.
know, you're
Right.
not telling them about you at all. Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to bring this up. JP is going to laugh at me. Oh man, you don't remember JP from New York?
Absolutely.
He thinks I have a pet peeve about this because I do, but people posting stuff that's controversial and then being upset
Uh,
when they're alienating half of their customer base. Yeah, and people posting stuff like, oh, their surgery incision or something, or
Now,
yeah,
my pet peeve is definitely the soapbox. Let me tell you my opinion on this matter. Well,
whoa,
you know what? I'm not here for your opinion on this matter. And you don't really care what my opinion is on that matter. So why don't we keep it to what we have in common and what we like about each other? I
yeah.
can't stand the debates. I block people. I won't participate in them.
Well, and you're what the prospects are like. If I'm going to buy something from somebody and look at their wall and they're always fighting about something that the country's fighting about or whatever, I don't want nothing to do with that if I'm a prospect.
No, no. I'm so careful about that. Um, I actually I got into a little bit of a trouble because I was trying to explain the different emerging social networks, and I brought up some different ones that have some very strong definitions, and somebody came at me and just said that wasn't right. And I'm like, but I'm reading the definition
Mm.
of what it, and it's like, I just got to stay away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely have to stay. My other thing that I don't like, and what I notice, Lisa, a lot of is kind of a little bit of the taker mentality, not the giver. The I need this to get to this, so help me get
Yeah.
to this because I need this. If you can help me, can you help me get to this? Because then I'll get to this. Then I want this. I'm like, well, why don't you just change the way you said that? And if you're asking me to buy something, why don't you talk about the benefits of what I'll get from it? What are you going to give to me? Like, tell me about how great what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say it the right way. I just
Well, you know what's funny? I'm kind of mixed feeling. It's not that I do that, but early on when I earned my first trip, the reason I earned it is because I rallied my customers and I'd never been anywhere and I sold them on us doing this together, even though I was the one that got to go on the trip. And when I did get it, I mailed each and every one of them a handwritten postcard from, it was Hawaii, of course. And I brought the trophy around to show them so they all could hold it. And we did it together, but now it feels different. On social media, it more feels like, right, they're being needy.
But
You know what
listen, everything you just said with what you did, all you did was give. You gave them recognition. You gave them the power of coming together, all of us as a group, to make this goal. You gave them cards. You gave them thank yous. You give, 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 give. You know what I mean? So you
well,
did that's
I
the
think
right
it's
way.
the way you present it. So I still think that you can share it with the people what your goal is and how we're all going to do it together. And even though you're the one that's actually going to go, we're going to all feel it together
Yeah,
with without making it sound so needy.
yeah, yeah.
Do you
So
think?
me.
Right? Yeah. How I'm trying to think, how do you get her? Because I've watched you talk about that, and I felt like I was guilty of it. But that,
But no, you weren't though, because you totally did it in the right way, where you were giving something back and making it very clear, gratitude. You know, you're thinking about the other person, not just about yourself and making that goal. You're thinking about how I can corral these people together and give them gratitude and thanks for what they're doing. You know what I mean? You came about it the right way.
okay, so that's a good point. I do see that an awful lot where people do that, and I just felt guilty there for a minute because I kind of say share it with your customers, but I don't mean it in the way they're doing it.
Not
So
as
I,
needy, not as I mean, there was somebody just a couple months ago from your company that said she was $40 off from making this new level and da da da. And I used to do this all. I still do it all the time, but I just went in and I bought $40 worth of product. Didn't say anything, but just wanted to see her make that goal. And so I mean, I say it from the right way. Yeah, I just there's some people that don't do it right, where they kind of just are demanding or just kind of a taker versus a giver. As long as you think from a giving place, you're great.
I think I know what you mean though, because I have seen a couple of them, and they're saying stuff like, "I don't know why you people aren't buying from me," or something like that. And it's like, "Oh, no one's going to buy from you if you say that." I don't.
Yeah,
They're making it like you should feel guilty for not buying from them. No one wants to feel that, I don't think.
yeah. No, that I don't know. You want to feel connected to each and every person that you're having a conversation with and trying to sell something to. You want to have a connection with them that's not just around the purchase, right?
Right. No, I agree with that. And for me, it was about two. I wanted to max out my 5,000 because I do it on my personal page. I know you don't agree with that, but I
That's
tried
the way
to.
to do it.
But anyway, I've always done better on the personal page. But JP's on. Absolutely, your contact should always come from abundance, never scarcity. Yay, JP.
Nice. Nice
True.
one, JP. I like
Yeah,
that.
Kathy said, I do not like pushy people and they're supposed to get what they need and not what they have. That would make me feel good. So I hope that's when I was going around working for that Hawaii one, I was bringing flower leis for them.
Yeah. So you're coming from a giving place. The whole evolution of the ask.
Well, and why I think it worked well too, I always talked about it like the trip we're getting, like we're doing this. And, even today, this is 30 years later. I must have been a wee child, but 30 years later, I actually run into people that say, where are we going this year on the big trip? And they know I'm with the same company. They know I'm going to get the trip, and they just want to know where we're going. They say it like that too.
That's amazing because you came at it from the right way. You made it inclusive. They're sharing in your success, and they're getting great products. So I mean, you positioned that all perfectly. I love this discussion we're having because that's exactly the way to just change it, just tune it up a little bit, and not be the needy ask and be the giving ask.
And to me, it almost always had to be something like that because the company that I rep for my main gig, we sell makeup, shampoo, deodorant. You can buy that down at Walmart, really.
Right.
So them two, and ours is nice, ours is great, but is it really so different? You know what I mean? So it has to be value that I'm bringing to
Yep.
me for them to wait for it, for them to order it and wait for it to get it from me rather than just go down there and get it. That's been true the entire time I've sold. So to me, it like I send a thank you note every single order in the mail.
Yep.
Because people don't do it anymore. So I'm
I
trying
love
to.
the cards. You sent me cards.
Oh yeah, I got one back. So then, well, when we're back in the green room, I need to
Okay.
get dressed right because part of the gig today is you get a goodie. You get brownies, cookies, or caramels.
Brownies, cookies, or caramels?
Yes, you get to pick.
Are they
So,
homemade caramels?
oh no, let's not. Molly, no.
Oh wait, I'm sorry, that's Molly.
I do not cook. No, the thing I do is like to make money. That's what I like.
That's good too.
Yeah, to me, it's almost like Monopoly. It's like a game to see how much money I can make in the smallest amount of time. You know what I mean? That's for like an hourly thing because I don't know if you know this part, but I think my lowest paid job was a third shift in a convenience store in Charleston, South Carolina. It was like $3 an hour. And I worked third shift to get the extra 10 cents. So,
Wow.
yeah. So now I like to see how much per hour I can generate for income. It's funny, my kid though, matter of fact, I was going to say that when you said 2005 was when the tsunami, I knew that happened, but barely because my kid was born that year and I adopted, but it was like a tsunami hit me. I had no idea. I was 42 and adopted an infant from the hospital. I brought him home. I had no idea what I was doing. I got hit by the baby train. So the kid would have been 6 months old. I wasn't even coming up for air by then. I had no idea what happened between the birth and then.
Tsunami.
Between that and now. Yeah, it's been a ride. But yeah. So yes, indeedy. I thought that was very interesting about the whole concert thing though. Hey,
That was a fun part of my life. That was a fun
have
part.
you by chance been to Singapore?
Yes.
No. Have you stayed at that big hotel with the infinity pool on the top? Oh,
No,
yeah.
didn't even visit there. But we did. Yeah, the concert I produced was live on MTV out of Singapore. So we had a televised deal. And then they did a making of and a bunch of different broadcasting throughout Southeast Asia. So it's still to this date, I believe, the largest concert in Southeast Asia history.
That is so
So
awesome.
it's so weird, isn't it? It's sort of random. Oh, and you did that?
Well, no, it's so awesomely weird. Wow, awesomely weird. Yeah, I have a thing about hotels. In cruise ship rooms. I like the big one, the
Yeah.
big fancy one. I'm into that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have a.
we do cruises. My brother's a cruise guy, so we go with him, and it's always the first level back corner suites
Oh,
that
the
have
big.
huge
Yeah,
balconies overlooking the engine, the prop.
yeah,
So
yeah. I went on the biggest cruise ship. I I spent a huge ton of money going on Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas, the biggest room, and that's supposed to be the biggest suite at sea. And it,
wow,
right, double. It's 2 stories. It was insane.
I'm
I
gonna look that up after this.
It's the Royal Loft Suite. It was awesome. It cost more than my car. Yeah, I was insane. But to me, I'm thinking at that time, um, I might never get to do that again, and I want it really bad. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to drive a crappy car and have this awesome experience that no one can take from me.
Did you just do this in the last couple of years?
No, it was a while ago. When I don't think it was. We went in some big rooms after that too. I think that room was on Anthem of the Seas. Actually, was it? Is it Anthem? Oh no, but I go on the biggest ones. Royal Caribbean's the biggest ones, but it's the Royal Loft Suite that I know.
Nice.
It was a while ago. The kid was alive, so it had to be in the last 16 years. But the kid was little, probably 5 or 6.
Back in 2016, we always try to do a multi-brain summit, and so it's you and your significant others. So we had about 50 people, and we were all going to Cancun.
Ooh,
And again, my brother is one of the investors, or one of the founding members of Hard Rock Resorts. So we were going to the Hard Rock Resort, and we got all these rooms. We want everybody close together. We ended up getting so lucky. We ended up getting what was called the Bret Michaels Suite for us, and it was a 9,500 square foot suite. It was 2 floors of an entire building.
wow.
And then the entire roof was its own pool, spa, bar, kitchen. I mean, just crazy, crazy space.
Oh,
And they gave that to us. We had all our parties and events there, and it was great just to be with all the multi-brain crew.
oh, that is
That's
awesome.
my favorite suite experience.
I don't know. Favorite is of course the Royal Loft Suite on. I think it's Oasis, but it's those 2 sister ships, and the other one is the MGM Grand. We had a Skyloft Suite one year for the company. The company actually paid, um, and those were 2 stories. Have you been up there? Those are
I have,
nice
I
in
have.
Las Vegas. Yeah, those were. Yeah, that was crazy. That was
I was
crazy.
there. I believe it or not, I was there for. Gosh, you're taking me way back. I was there for what was supposed to be Barbara Streisand's final concert,
Ooh.
her final show. It was 2 shows over New Year's Eve. And I actually kind of pushed her mother around, she was in a wheelchair. So I got to push her around, but they put us in one of those suites, which were crazy amazing.
Yeah, those are.
Um, and then, I mean, I had her mother with me, and I ended up getting invited to the D-list party after the show.
Ooh.
She never even showed up.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't get the A, B, or C party. I got the D party with her mother. I thought, that's so wrong.
She didn't even show up.
And she didn't go up to her D party.
What the heck? No, that believe it or not, my best part of that whole experience for me is, of course, my kid was, I think, 8. I mean, my kid doesn't know everyone doesn't do this, though. That's the only thing.
Right.
Right. He expects this kind of treatment when we go places. It's hilarious. But they sent a stretch limo to the airport to get me and the kid for the Skyloft Suite thing. So me and my 8-year-old are riding in a stretch limo with our Disney rolling suitcases. And
Right.
there was somebody waiting for us in the MGM Skyloft entrance. And my friend was waiting for me there. You probably know her, Erica Woolbright from Las Vegas. and she took a picture because the lady was talking on the walkie-talkie saying, "We got him. We're on our way. We're almost there." And she's like, "They're talking about you, you know." I
VIPs.
was so thrilled. It felt like I was Madonna.
VIPs. Did you give me your rider? That was always my funniest favorite thing about celebrities is these riders.
Oh,
This is what needs to be in my dressing room. And we would always get them.
But what's the kooky ones? Tell us some kooky ones.
The funny one, the best one ever was, and I've got some doozies, but I was doing a show with Mariah Carey. She's a little high maintenance, but we love her. She's wonderful. A lot of them are. And we got a 6-page rider at 9 a.m. the day of her show. And I don't know if you know this about me, Lisa, but the original Multi-Brain was I wired studios in West Hollywood in California. I was the first people doing streaming content on AOL and MSN. Like literally 15.5. Like we would bring 18-wheeler trucks with satellites to beam the signal, T1 wiring throughout the studios, and we would beam the signal up so that you could watch it on AOL. We were the first ones doing, so we did all the celebrities, we did all the chats, all of this stuff, which we do now on our phones. They were huge productions back in 2000. So Mariah's, we had to lock down the entire facility and put security guards everywhere. And then we had to get a 6-page rider that day. So my friend Jack did all the shopping. I'm like, dude, you got to just go buy all this stuff. This is riders. And I mean, it's like a hot air humidifier, 2 bottles of Cristal at $200 each, champagne, and all this stuff. Poland Springs water. I'm sorry, they don't sell Poland Springs water in LA. Well, you're gonna have to get it shipped out from New York, but the show is today. Is there another kind of water she can drink? And literally, that's what it was like. My morning of show. Jack got everything, did the whole green room up for her, and he also got a box of, that wasn't on the list, a box of 4 packages of Cracker Jacks. By God, you know what the only thing she took out of the green room?
The Cracker Jack.
Cracker Jacks. The only thing she left all the Cristal, all the champagne, all the booze, all the food, all the everything. She took the Cracker Jacks. Probably because she's never seen it before. They don't know this. This is their agents, and I was an agent. This is their agent saying, put all this in her dressing room everywhere she goes. So they kind of dictate these riders.
So you guys go through all that work, and they may or may not even notice it's going on.
Oh yeah, they typically don't.
Oh geez.
My favorite thing in Vegas, though, is my biggest. Whenever we go to Vegas, we like to call down and go, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't request a room with a fax machine next to my bed, and I'm missing a baby grand piano. Is there? I'm gonna get a room with a piano.
Just
sorry, wasn't there supposed to be a staircase and a baby grand in this room?
Well, you know what? In that big giant room on Oasis, there's a baby grand piano.
There is. Now you're living large.
Plays itself too.
That would need to in my case. I just want to have in the room.
Oh no, that was awesome. I can't wait to cruise again. Do you like it?
I was just looking at these cruises. They're smaller yacht type cruises, and they go through Greece.
Ooh.
I was just looking at them yesterday, going, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. What I want to do is those I forgot what country they're in, those little cabins out on the water that have their own little slide and the whole thing.
Oh, nice. Like in Bali and
yes. If it weren't so far to fly though, that's a long fly. And yeah.
Rodney, I think you've met Rodney, my number 2 at Multi-Brain, who's been with me since day one. He's getting married over in Bali next June.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pre-planning.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be last year. Needless to say, that didn't happen. So they actually booked it 2 years out just to make sure we're all the way through this.
Wow. Which better be pretty soon, huh?
I hope so. It's starting to feel pretty good. I'm vaccinated.
This is
that's not controversial.
Yeah. This is probably helping, your business though, because everything's gone online. Has this,
We've been virtual for the 10 years, the 12 years we've been in existence. So we don't have offices. So yeah, this whole thing, I think we more than doubled our business last year. Multibrain is at its all-time highest. And we'll find our way back to you. I have a feeling.
oh, everything does.
Yeah, we'll find our way back.
Everything goes in cycles. So yeah.
You all have honestly, and I said this to Michael. You guys and your company changed my life. I mean, it changed the way we did business. That more personal approach, the training, the support, the content, all of everything. You guys really like allowed us to circle. How do we make something successful versus just giving you some software? And it changed my life, and all the success I'm having now is because of this relationship with you. So,
you know what's funny is if there's one thing I've learned in almost 40 years with that company is that corporate people come and go. Who owns the company even changes, but what doesn't change is us. The representatives have been the stronghold all along. It's what you know.
Interesting. What doesn't change is you guys is the foundation.
Yeah, so we are actually the foundation of the company. Always the other people don't know it, but that's all right.
So true. That circles back to what I said at the beginning, which is I saw this in 2007, 2008, where the power is in the people, is in the street. I mean, I always called it like in the street. I don't want to talk to the head of marketing and IT and all that. No, I want to talk to the people who are using it. People who are in the trenches, building their business, growing their community, trying to understand how to do social media. Do you hear my dogs over here?
Well, I'm surprised you don't hear mine. You see Bo's right there. Yay! There's Bo.
Rolling on the carpet here.
Hey, there's Bo. He's sleeping. My dog's a bum.
But it's so true that you guys are the ones that are, it is true. You're the constant. You're the foundation.
And it's funny because what I tell people is I'm not that talented. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best looking. I'm not a lot of stuff, and I'm not the best closer for salesman. Any of that stuff. The thing I can do is be persistent. I can last. I can outlast them. So there have a lot of changes in representatives, and I mainly outlasted everybody.
Consistency wins.
Right. It's funny. You don't have to be talented. You just have to be consistent. But I mean, you have to not do the wrong thing consistently. That would be bad. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't say you're not extremely talented. I've wanted to, what you said a little bit ago, I've wanted to skin a van, like a tour. Like I got to go on a tour bus with Black Eyed Peas from LA to Denver. I got to ride with them.
nice.
It was so much fun, and I've always wanted to take a tour bus, skin it, social selling, and tour the country and do speaking gigs. I've just always wanted to do it. Like
you know that story. I don't know if you know it, and I've forgotten who it was. Oh no, Wayne Dyer. He told this big story about when he started. He went from radio station to radio station to radio station. Is how he got known, and he went all around the country. That's how I came up with the idea to do the seminars all around the country. And it was before we had Facebook and all that. So I pre-sold tickets and booked the hotel rooms. I did all of that almost on the phone and stuff. It was an insane thing to do, but it worked. But I didn't learn how to do speaking. That's what I thought I was doing, is getting my chops doing speaking and really learn it. You know what I learned how to do? Be a truck driver. That's what I learned. I had a
truck driver and then a travel agent.
Well, and I thought people warned me. They're like, oh, somebody's going to mess with you. You're a woman. You're going to drive all around the country by yourself. Are you kidding? No one would talk to me. Nobody would talk to me. I'm in a little bitty truck, so the truck drivers wouldn't talk to me. I'm not driving a real truck. And it was like, no one would talk to me. And then you go to a room like Portland, Oregon. I sold it out, 200 seats. And everyone knew me because I was the one doing the show, you know what I mean? Doing the speaking. And then you go from 200 people all knowing you to no one will talk to you. It was like, yeah, mind blowing. It was awesome, but
Did you love it? Looking
I
back on it, did
loved
you love
it.
it?
I'm not sure I would do it again. That was a hard. By the time I got out to LA from here, I took 3 weeks and I did seminars all along the way. I The plan was to park at LAX, fly home for a week, and then fly back and get in the truck and do the other 3 weeks. I cried so hard not wanting to go back
Oh,
because the first 3 weeks was rough. I mean, there was like the second week I lost my voice a little bit, and then I pulled something in my back. One like the third week, there was little things, and I'm doing all this by myself.
oh my.
Right. And I was unpacking my stuff to sell, and I was, doing the whole thing alone. But anyway, I'm glad I did it. I did want to stand on the roof and beat my chest at the end.
I still want to do it. I just love the idea of I've circled the country 4 times, and I've said my max in a car right now is 3 hours. So I'll go to Austin, and that's about it.
Yeah. I could but you probably got a cute little fancy car or something. No.
Yeah, fun cars.
See, I'm driving a minivan. It's like sitting in a recliner.
Nice.
Yeah, no, see, my minivan. It's my mother's hand-me-down minivan because I would rather spend 20 something thousand on a hotel room and drive a crappy car.
Well, good for you. Good for you. That's great.
Good for you.
I'm just saying I'm not. We're going to New Orleans next week, and I've never been to New Orleans.
Ooh. How
And
did you miss that?
I don't know. I've driven through, but I've never really been there. So we're actually going to go, and they're going to drive, and I'm not. I'm going to fly and meet them.
Well, I hope are you having a big party or something. You got to get one of those big, giant drinks at Pat O'Brien's, one of
Oh,
those giant hurricanes, and take a picture.
just
'Cause
for the picture.
we all want to see that. Yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, we're getting close to time. Did you want to make sure you tell us how to connect with you now? Because you're not under contract with the main company that I do a gig for, but people can still work with you.
Yeah, we have thousands of you all that are still connected to us to our in our group on Facebook, Social Selling by Multibrain. So it's free. It's absolutely just absolutely jump over there. We're doing that. We still do the monthly shows, which everyone loved. The social selling shows. We do office hours. We do. We're still there helping. So if anybody needs help with social media, definitely head over to that group.
Because I think that people were a little confused, but it was just a contract, right? You're under contract for a certain amount of time, and then they just decided not to do that. But
Mm-hmm.
you did your own offering, and things do come back around. So I think that people got confused that they couldn't still use your service, but they certainly can.
They can, yeah. We have our own multi-bank platform as well, so it's just it's just not pink. It's not themed. But the main thing is just if you want the training, you want to stay connected to me, or you want to do more chats and anything like that. Just the social selling group is. I would love to have your friends join there.
Okay. Well, thank you, and I'll put the link to that. Give me that link after, and I'll put the link in on the YouTube channel too, so
Okay.
that they can find you.
Well, this is
Okay.
so much fun. I love that we just hang out and chat.
Yes, thank you very much for doing this. So the all important question is it brownies, cookies, or caramels?
Cookies.
Cookies. Oh, and they come with an assortment. You'll like that. And you can
Done.
freeze them in case there's too many. So
Wow.
they're not baked by me though.
They're not homemade baked.
No. You'll have to check with Molly for homemade stuff because that's
I'm gonna
not.
have to go over to Molly's show to get some of those cakes, and
She keeps thinking she's going to talk me into cooking, but not really.
the Hubers also have sent me I think some brownies in the past.
Oh no, you know what?
And,
If you haven't seen Richard Huber do Frank Sinatra, you're missing something. Next time you run into them, you ask him to do Frank for you.
I'll bring it on because I could do a Mac knife to bring down the house.
Yeah, he does an awesome Frank. Yeah, I
Okay,
call him Frank.
perfect.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah, he did that on the cruise ship one night, and it was awesome.
Great. I love that.
So anyway, I will let you go, and thank you so much. So if you stay right there a minute, and
Sounds good. Thank you.
thank you, everybody. We'll see you at 1.